Hello there and welcome to Lower 6th Further Maths A-Level. This is the January mock exam revision sheet 4. Here we're on question 3. The matrix 1 minus 3, 2, 1 equals that, equals A, and AB is that matrix there. Find matrix B. Alright, so we've got some matrix 1 minus 3, 2, 1 times by this B matrix, and that will give me the answer of 419194. Alright, so effectively what I have going on here is AB is equal to this thing here, and then I've got A times by B here. So what I want to do effectively is divide by this matrix A here. However, we all know with matrices you can't divide by matrices, but what you can do is multiply by inverses. And it also matters with matrices which order that you multiply the matrices in. Seeing as this matrix is on the front, I'm going to need my A inverse to appear at the front here, so that these two will cancel out when they're together. So therefore, given that I need A minus 1 at the front of my matrix, the term that I use for this is to pre-multiply by inverse A. Now let's find the inverse of A. The first thing we need to do is find the determinant. So it's going to be 1 take away minus 6, so that would be 1 over 7. So we're going to have 1 over 7 times by, and then you flip over the leading diagonal, so 1 and the 1 will effectively have been flipped over, and we negate the other two values, 3 and minus 2. So the minus 3 turned into a positive 3, and the 2 turned into a minus 2. So now that we've pre-multiplied by the inverse of A, this here is then going to effectively cancel each other out to leave just a I, or an identity matrix, and anything times the identity matrix is the matrix itself, so we'll just leave a B there. And on the right hand side, we're going to have multiplied the matrix at the front because it is a pre-multiplication. So that means that's referred to the fact that I've multiplied by my inverse A at the front of the expression on the right hand side. So what we'll do now is just multiply out the brackets. So remember, we go horizontal in the first matrix and vertically in the second matrix. So it's 1 times 4 is 4, add 3 times 1 is 3, so that will get me a 7. Hopefully I'm going to get multiples of 7 here because I've got a 1 over 7 at the front here. 1 times 1 is 1, 3 times 9 is 27, so 1 adds 27 is 28. Okay, so I'm working along the top row still here because I'm using the top row of the first matrix and then each row on the second matrix. So 1 times 9 is 9, 3 times 4 is 12, 9 add 12 is 21. Okay, now work along the bottom because I'm using the bottom row on this first matrix here and each of the columns here. We'll fill in these columns here. Minus 2 times 4 is minus 8, add the 1 and you get minus 7. Minus 2 times 1 is minus 2, add the 9 and you get a 7. And minus 2 times 9 is minus 18, add the 4, minus 18, add 4 and you get minus 14. Great, that's all worked out nicely for multiples of 7, so I can divide each of these values for 7, incorporating the 7th at the front there, so you get 1, 4, 3, minus 1, 1, minus 2. Perfect, that's the answer to your question. You might want to test how you can do this on your calculator, even though it says just check your answer on the calculator. So menu button, option 4, and then you hit define matrix, select a 2 by 2 for matrix A, insert those values in there using the up and down buttons, then clear that, and then select on the option button again, define another matrix, matrix B. Here you need a 2 by 3 matrix. And then in the next line, clear that, option button, select matrix A, that's going to be at the front, but you need to inverse it, and the way you inverse this matrix here is to use the power of -1 button that's just slightly before the open bracket, and then times by option button number 4 for your option of matrix B, and enter that, and you should get exactly the same answers as what we've got here. Alright, that's 3 marks.